All right, so that video you guys just watched was all shot using the GH5 with the Voigtlander 17.5 lens. And I also had a Black Pro Mix filter, the 1/8 by Tiffin. And that's actually what I'm using right now to film this video. All that video was shot handheld, like I said, with the GH5. And that's one of the reasons why I really like the GH5 so much, because of the image stabilization that it has. And I feel like you can get away with so much shooting handheld without having to worry, without having to bring along like gimbals and monopods and all that. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to have it, but if you do not have it, I think the GH5 does an amazing job, and you can get away with a lot just handheld. Especially if you guys are using the Panasonic 12 to 35mm lens. That lens has amazing stabilization on the lens, plus the GH5 in-body stabilization. That right there works so good. I'm telling you, you really don't need a gimbal. I'm not saying it's gonna be as smooth as a gimbal, but it does a great job where you honestly don't need it at the moment. Another thing I want to say, that video was all shot using Vlog-L. And when I shoot in Vlog, me personally, I don't really use the overexposed 2 stops method. I know a lot of people say when you're shooting log, you gotta overexpose 2 stops. I know in the beginning, if you guys just getting started, yeah, I think overexposed 2 stops is kind of like on the safe side. But me personally, I like to expose for skin tones, plus my overall image, I like to expose that at 75 IRE, which I've said before in a previous video. It just helps me expose my image a lot better and not let me blow out certain things in my image. Another thing, I don't really like to say overexpose 1 stop, overexpose 2 stops. It just depends on the shot, and it depends on what you're trying to capture. In my way of exposing, I always end up looking at my metering. Every now and then I'll look at my metering, and my metering's usually just like half a stop over, or maybe 1 stop over. And I know a lot of people say you get a lot of noise in your shadows, which in this video that I shot, I did get some noise in the shadows, and it does bug me a bit. It does kind of, you know, I see that, but when I color grade it, I notice that the noise usually goes away. So it looked really good for me. And not only that, but when I color grade, when I'm shooting and I'm exposing my highlights at 75 IRE and my skin tones at 55 IRE, I notice my color grading is so much faster and a lot easier. It's just my personal way of working. It might be different for other people, but I feel like it's a lot easier to color grade, set my exposure and all that, and just my image looks a lot better. Like right now, this shot that I'm doing right now, if I want to pay attention and look at my actual metering, I'm overexposed just 1 stop. I'm not, you know, overexposing 2 stops. I'm just overexposed 1 stop. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit on setting my exposure for that shot. And another thing is I use this GH5, and I also use the Atomos Ninja V. And honestly, lately I haven't really been using it as a recorder. I've just been using it to monitor my image. I feel like the Ninja V or the Ninja 5 has amazing tools to set your exposure, and it helps me so much set my exposure, especially when I'm out in daylight or in sunlight, where, you know, it gets a little hard for me to see the exposure on the small little screen. Don't get me wrong, that's just extra. I don't feel like I need it, because if I don't have it, my image is just gonna come out really bad. I feel like it's something extra to have, and it is very useful. The main things I use on my Ninja 5 is my focus peaking, my zooming in. I can zoom in like 1 or 2 times, then I can make sure my shot is in focus. And another thing is the waveform on the Ninja 5, you know, it's just a lot bigger, and I can see like, all right, I'm not clipping, my highlights are not all the way up, you know, above 80 IRE. So using those 3 things on my Ninja 5 have been extremely useful, and I feel like it helps me so much when setting exposure. And one more thing I want to talk about is the Black Pro Mix filter that I used while I was filming this. And that's the first time I use it. I just got it not too long ago. I'm actually using it right now to film this video. I'm actually going to take it off right now, see if you guys notice a difference. So yeah, this is it right here. It is the Tiffin Black Pro Mitts, and it's a 1-8 or 1/8 filter. This thing is really cool. I kind of seen other videos and I've seen other people using it, and what it pretty much does, if you guys can see right here, like the sun setting, I don't know if you guys can kind of see like the highlights just shimmer off, or they have like a very soft glare that leaks over to your shadows that looks really pleasing to the eyes, at least in my opinion. I really do enjoy how the highlights react when you have this on your lens. It just softens it up and it just doesn't look like you're clipping really bad or really nasty. It's a little more pleasing to the eye when you're clipping using the Black Pro Mitts filter. Not only that, but when, you know, as you're filming and you get like a light flare or like a lens flare, it softens it up. It looks, I don't know if I can say, kind of like a filter or an overlay on your footage that just softens up your shadows, and it kind of looks like it even adds a little bit more dynamic range, because it just, you know, it brings up your shadows in a way. It really doesn't add any more dynamic range, but I don't know, it just looks a little flatter. The image looks a little flatter versus when I don't have this on. These are just my personal thoughts on it, my personal opinions on it. Everybody might think a little different, or somebody might think a whole different opinion from me, but yeah, I think it softens up the image a lot more like of a vintage look. Actually, this on the Voigtlander looks really good. I don't think it looks sharp, I don't think it looks perfect, I don't think it looks clean, but that's why I like it, because I don't like that perfect, sharp, clean shot. I like my shots to have some type of character to it. And when I smack this on, it definitely does add character to my lens. Again, guys, this is all personal. This is all just opinions that I'm saying. I'm not an affiliate. I ain't getting paid, so I'm not trying to sell you guys on something just because. I really like this filter. I think it is worth it. The Voigtlander, I'm loving the Voigtlander. But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate you guys taking your time, giving this video a look. Another thing is, I will be releasing a video really soon about how I color grade, not just color grade, but also how I expose using the GHAlex Lut, because I feel like there's no point talking about color grading if I don't talk about exposure first, because yeah, I've seen so many color grading videos and I'm like, man, I can't get that look, but it's because my exposure has always been way out, you know, just wrong exposure. So yeah, guys, my next video, hopefully I am out in the field, not just right here in my studio, but showing you guys how I expose actually when I'm outside using the GH5 before I come into the studio and start color grading. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and thank you guys for watching this video. I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Motown Record Corporation, the Motown Record Corporation, the